Do you know what every working mother out there in America and the UK and beyond does when they're pregnant? Shut up. No one cares that you were pampered day and night and then you had to go out and be loved and adored by a bunch of people while you're... Shut the F up. This woman is a fraud and people get it. She's not special. She's not a feminist icon. She gave up everything for a man, her country, her religion, her career, her family, her friends. She did it because she's a social climber. That was more important to her.
Like her.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Everybody who works for her quits. Everybody says she's a bully. She's very nasty. Not only is she incredibly controlling, but she's a bitch about it to everybody who works for her. When things inevitably start spiraling downward, she blames everyone but herself. Okay, wait, I wanted to rewind because there's so many points.
We all go to work every day. It's very fucking hard. I don't feel sorry for you. You know, like I didn't have people bringing me my meals and rubbing my feet at the end of the day, as I guarantee you these two did. No one cares. Our sympathies aren't with you. They are with the women who work 2 or 3 jobs.
She gave an interview to People magazine. She says she loves like building this safe haven and show with her daughter. And she says, being able to have my own little girl, as I've spent so much of my life championing the rights of girls and women, knowing this is something that I can create in front of my daughter and teach her what it's like to be a working mom. This is not what it's like to be a working mom. She has done the world premiere episode of actually being on someone else's podcast. And the someone else her name is Jamie Kern Lima.
It's one thing to be in the spotlight. It's another to be accused of never wanting to leave it. Meghan Markle, once celebrated as a modern breath of fresh air within the British royal family, is now facing what might be her most intense wave of public criticism yet. What started as a teary podcast appearance meant to show vulnerability has spiraled into a firestorm of backlash, scrutiny, and jaw-dropping behind-the-scenes revelations.
We spend so much of our life trying to prove something, to prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. And I was like, I am just so done with the prove it game.
From high-profile exits on her team to critics accusing her of staging emotion, and now claims that Netflix itself may have stepped in to silence her detractors, Meghan's carefully curated image might be cracking under the weight of her own brand. Let's rewind to that infamous podcast clip, the one that sparked a tidal wave of debate. It's Meghan's first time back in the audio space since her royal exit, and she's in full storytelling mode. Soft music, reflective tone, a sudden voice break, and then the tear. It's a moment meant to signal pain, growth, and honesty.
When you get to the place where you feel, I don't have to prove anything to you anymore. I don't have to prove that I'm a good person. I don't have to prove to you that I'm a good wife or mom or friend.
But almost instantly, fans and skeptics alike began dissecting it frame by frame. Why? Because this wasn't the first time Meghan had shown off her ability to cry on cue. According to resurfaced footage from a Suits promotional shoot, she once joked about summoning a tear from her left eye on command. And she did, laughing, immediately after.
So House can still be home base.
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my god, it's crazy. You're like, Megyn, 1 tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
And you've created it for what? Because you're bored or because it sells your papers? Or it makes you feel better about your own life? It's real what you're doing. And that's the piece I don't think people fully understand.
So when tears fell during her podcast, many questioned whether it was heartfelt or just a performance worthy of the big screen. The reaction was fast and brutal. Online forums erupted. Headlines labeled the moment everything from strategically emotional to painfully rehearsed. One user wrote, "I wanted to believe her, but now I don't know what's real anymore." Even celebrity commentators weren't holding back. Megyn Kelly, known for her unfiltered takes, went straight for the jugular, calling Meghan's podcast phony and accusing her of weaponizing emotion for sympathy points.
She is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated. Who the hell picks berries in a white cashmere blouse and white pants? Literally no one on earth does that.
And it didn't stop there. Former palace staff, particularly women, began speaking up again, echoing past allegations that working under Meghan had been emotionally exhausting. "We were in tears by the end," one aide was quoted as saying. "She wore us down." But the podcast wasn't the only place where the Meghan show was taking center stage. Enter With Love, Megyn, the highly anticipated lifestyle series that premiered on Netflix with high hopes and a well-oiled PR machine. Billed as a peek behind the scenes into Meghan's post-royal life, the show promised authenticity, elegance, and inspiration. Instead, what audiences got, according to critics, was something far more curated and far less genuine. UK media didn't mince words. The Telegraph called it an exercise in self-celebration, while The Guardian questioned whether Meghan's intimate portrayal was just another scripted brand rollout. One of the more bizarre revelations, sources claimed the production team struggled to book A-list guests. Multiple celebrities reportedly declined to appear, worried about the show's tone and potential backlash. At least one celebrity chef, Jameson Stocks, came forward claiming he was pressured by Netflix's legal team after he called the series forced and fake in a now-deleted post. He alleges he received a cease and desist warning just for expressing his opinion. If true, this raises serious questions about how far the powers behind Meghan's image are willing to go to protect it. And yet, despite all the negative press, the show still managed to crack Netflix's top 10 globally. A win? On paper, yes. But critics argue the interest wasn't driven by admiration, but by sheer curiosity, a kind of car crash effect, where viewers couldn't look away from the spectacle. It's the same phenomenon that keeps tabloids alive and talk shows booked solid. Controversy sells, especially when it comes with designer outfits, royal connections, and perfectly timed tears. As for the royal family, don't expect a glowing review from Buckingham Palace. According to sources close to Prince William and Princess Kate, there's zero interest in tuning into Meghan's Netflix project, or anything else she's involved in. One palace insider told Vanity Fair, they see this for what? It is another chapter in Meghan's self-made saga. The rift between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family has never been wider, and with each new media project, the divide seems to grow even more permanent. The royals, true to form, remain silent in public. But behind closed doors, we can only imagine the reactions. Yet for every critic calling Meghan disingenuous, there are still legions of fans who see her differently. They say she's a survivor, someone who escaped an archaic institution and is now carving out her own space, her own way. They argue that the backlash is steeped in envy, misogyny, and yes, even racial bias. To them, Meghan's tears are not manipulation, but evidence of deep wounds. Her storytelling is not acting, but a way to reclaim her voice. The debate rages on across social platforms, news sites, and even dinner tables. Is Meghan being unfairly villainized? Or is this just what happens when someone tries to control every angle of their own narrative? There's a larger question buried beneath all this drama. In the age of personal branding, is it even possible to be truly authentic anymore? Meghan's critics say she's playing a role. But don't we all, at least a little, in the digital era? When influencers stage candid moments and celebrities cry in perfect lighting, how do we tell the difference between real and rehearsed? Meghan, for better or worse, has become the symbol of this blurred line. Her every word, every glance, every tear, analyzed, debated, and doubted. And maybe that's the real reason we can't stop talking about her. Behind the headlines and hashtags is a woman who both fascinates and frustrates, depending on where you stand. She's not just a former actress turned duchess, she's a mirror. One that reflects our hopes, our suspicions, and maybe even our own obsession with watching public figures fall from grace. Or rise again. So, where do you stand? Is Meghan Markle a misunderstood icon in a world that punishes outspoken women? Or is she the architect of her own controversy? Someone who knew exactly what she was doing and simply played her hand one too many times? Let us know in the comments. Are you Team Genuine or Team Performative? Because in this never-ending royal reality show, one thing is clear. The cameras may stop rolling, but the drama, that's forever.